Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of the Nah But For Real Though podcast. I'm your host, Famo Goodlove, and today, before I get started on today's episode, I have a story time. No, I have a real fact. Lobsters have teeth in their stomach. The more you know. That fact was brought to you by Snapple, made from the best stuff on earth. Hashtag not an ad, but could be. Nah, but for real though, it's been a while. It's been a while, and today we're going to be talking about the Diddy Files. Yep. So yeah, today's episode is on the Diddy Files, and okay. So with that being said, yeah. So let me see. So earlier this year, P Diddy had his house raided. No, well, let's be clear. They aren't houses; they're mansions. But regardless, they were raided, and there were well, at the time, uh the things that were found weren't specified. We weren't told what was found, right? But we had suspicions. The reason why everyone had suspicions was because, I mean, it was a federal investigation. And the thing about the feds, they don't, let's see, they don't, they don't prosecute or arrest you until they have plenty of evidence. They don't, let me see. Yeah, they don't, yeah, prosecute you. No, they don't serve you RICO charges until they have like solid evidence. It, young Thug was dealing with RICO charges earlier this year, and he just got and he thankfully for him, he was able to get off with house arrest for 15 years or something. Now, this is about to be the understatement of the year, but things just aren't looking good for Diddy. They just aren't. Back in November of last year, I believe. Yeah, November. So in early November of 2023, oh excuse me, um, there, oh no, yeah, Diddy settled a lawsuit, right, for 30 million. Okay, first of all, to be worth, to even have a spare 30 mil just laying around, that's a different type of wealth. I'll just be completely honest. But that's beside the point. So Diddy settles for 30 mil and he thinks it's done. March comes around. He gets no. His mansions get raided. Not houses, but mansions. But I mean, he has millions in the bank, so he makes millions, so I can't really act surprised. You feel me? But that's beside the point. His mansions get raided in March, right? And I mean, at the time, everyone's like speculating, like, bro, what's going on? What's going on with Diddy? Now, earlier that year, no. Earlier this year, because we're still in 2024. Before his houses got raided, Shannon Sharp went on his podcast, had Cat Williams on and he said he said he had to protect his virgin hole from he had to protect his Bucci cat from P Diddy, because you got to tell him no, you got to. And we didn't know how true that was, like, because we just had no idea. We had no idea. We had no idea. The general public had no idea. The general public has no idea of the life that celebrities live. You feel me? So in March, his house gets raided, and let me see, they're seizing a lot of his belongings. They even come to find out, we find out in September that they seized over 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil from his premises, and and at the time, I believe, some of his kids were arrested. Some people were arrested at his mansions. Let's see. Yeah, his because, okay, let me give you like some context. September 11th comes around. This is after that beef, but Kendrick Lamar released a song that, well, where the basic gist of it was, it's time to watch the party die, right? The following day, September 12th, the Diddy Files come out, where it talks about it talks about um yeah, the indictment comes out. This was when it was filed, September 12th, and it's 14 pages, and it said the it says the thing begins saying the grand jury charges for decades Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Bro. First of all, that many nicknames for one person is just catastrophically egregious. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, 5 nicknames? Jeez. It said that hold on, let me see. Oh yeah. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video, right? And later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Bro. And this went on for decades. Jesus Christ. Okay. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Hang on, I'm looking for something. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, means and methods of the enterprise. Oh, yeah, so the Combs Enterprise. It says P. Diddy and others known were members of a criminal org called the Combs Enterprise or the Enterprise, where where he was a ringleader, right? And he had his members and associates engage in and attempt to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transport for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Bro, this man flew hoes out across. I think it's safe to say across the country, across state lines, to say the least. And he would. Well, no. Well, he was very elaborate in doing so. This man booked hotels. It had them prepared in advance, so that so that by the time his victims uh, got to these rooms, they would the rooms would already have the lube, the baby oil, and the drug, like the rape drugs, basically, all for his victims. Bro, this man was elaborate in his schemes. So he did all this, bro. He was just denied bail for the third time recently. This man needs to be sent to the woo. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for saying that, bro. Then it goes on to say, um, Combs and his members and associates basically used their power to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims to Diddy, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. And that's where like the problem lies. 'Cause yeah. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause these victims to engage in extended acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Oh, so it was internationally too. Oh. I mean, he was rich, so I really can't be surprised, but jeez. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days, and involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Diddy distributed a variety of controlled substances, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Send him to jail. No. Send him to hell, because if this is true, first of all, everyone who was involved, victims, from victims to members, they need to testify against this man, because this is pure evil. This is pure evil. And the report said that there was arson. If that's the case, then that rumor of Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car, that's true. If the things in this document are if half of these things are true, then that means that rumor of Diddy's bodyguard grabbing Wale by the ankles, hanging him over a balcony, dreads swinging. That's true. The possibility of that being true are very real. There was a video of Diddy, right? Diddy went on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and did and no, basically, let me get it straight. If the Kimmel asked Diddy if it was true that that Will and Jada wanted Cassie for a threesome, and Diddy threatened to slap or beat up. Or did Diddy threatened Will and Jada, and Jimmy asked, "Is that true?" Diddy this man made a face of, nigga, what you talk, nigga, who told, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? He had to then he remembered that he was on TV, and he was like, huh, he tried to play it off like, huh, I don't know what you're talking about. That's true. It's true. It's true. He made that face because it's true. Diddy is one scary man, and he did all of it. He did all of it. He did all of it. He did that shit. Jesus. Bro. The IV fluids. Okay, first of all, it's one thing to be freaky, right? But nigga, you having sex with people for multiple days? Days? Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. Um, I'm coming from a vanilla perspective. Maybe I'm just vanilla. Okay. Maybe my sex drive isn't the highest, right? But days, and and then you're giving these people IV fluid. Bro, that ain't sex. You're torturing them. You're torturing. That's not a good thing. No, that's not enjoyable. Ew. That's not. No. No. Bro. And then. And then he. Like right. So all of these freak offs were of course recorded. Obviously, he obviously needed to use these videos to keep these victims, to keep his victims silent. He also threatened to end his victims' careers and livelihoods. Also, if they if those victims resisted to partake in the freak offs, and the victims believed they couldn't refuse Diddy's demands, without risking their financial job or job security, or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Diddy also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings he made during the freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise including Combs, security personnel at times carried firearms. There were firearms that had the serial numbers scratched off. They were seized. Okay. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during the searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, law enforcement seized firearms ammunition, include three AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Well, he's caught. When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threaten Combs' authority, reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial reputation, null harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. Plus, he also bribed people. Diddy also bribed people, which bribing is never a good thing. Bribing, obviously, is giving boatloads of money, offering up boatloads of money to people in hopes of getting them to do what you want them to do. And since P. Diddy was rich at the time, he felt comfortable doing it. I mean, let's be honest. This whole thing is sickening. The Diddy Files. The Diddy Files. Okay, so quick correction. As I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it before, but Diddy's currently in jail. He's been denied bail for the fourth time now. He appealed he tried to appeal for the fourth time to be put on bail, but the judge denied the fourth time. And so, because he's been known to obstruct justice on multiple occasions, and he's currently in the Metropolitan Detention Center in the SHU, which is also known as the Special Housing Unit. He gets 3 showers a week, which he's going to be dirty, to say the least. And he gets 1 hour of recess a day. So this is basically solitary confinement. It sounds like solitary confinement. I mean, listen, if he didn't want to if he didn't want to be where he is now, he shouldn't have he shouldn't have done what he shouldn't have done allegedly what he's been doing outside of jail. Cause I mean, no one wants to be in these conditions. Like, let's be honest. Yeah, and this jailhouse is known to have mean, violent jailers, people who run the jail, and sometimes they have power outages that last a week. So yeah, I mean, listen. Again, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. So yeah, damn, you're gonna be dirty, stinky, definitely gonna be smelly, ugh, and uncomfortable. Just straight up uncomfortable. That's tough. Now, Diddy has been known to tamper with evidence, obstruct justice, and he's been doing that a lot in jail. Allegedly, he's been uh from jail. Well, he's been like coming up, like finding ways to uh to call victims who he thought would testify against him as witnesses, threatening them with violence, among other things, and just obstructing justice in different elaborate ways, which just goes to show that he's guilty. Um, Now we don't know that for sure yet, but there's a ton of evidence stacked against him. The Fed cases have a 96% success rate for a reason. So yeah. Um. Let me see. Oh yeah. There's also another lawsuit, which I mean it is what it is, but yeah, where a woman by the name of Ashley Parnham is suing Diddy and several other people for charges like sexual assault and other serious crimes that occurred in March 2018 in California. Basically, she met Shane Pierce in February 2018 and was invited to his apartment, and allegedly Diddy got to that apartment with several of his associates, including Christina Coram, aka KK. Those people threatened her, physically restrained her, and sexually assaulted Ashley. Um, the The document also says this is part of a broader pattern of alleged abuse, noting say, and that Diddy has been sued multiple times by different people for similar actions. The lawsuits filed under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. Yeah, you know you're in deep water when documents have to um when documents have to have a trigger warning for for the file. Um Ashley describes a confrontation in the backyard after the alleged assault involving threats and an altercation. One of the neighbors got involved after they heard a commotion and someone fired off a gun during the incident. Which, a gun. Okay, cool. The plaintiff attempted to escape and ran onto the street yelling for help. She encountered a local sheriff to whom she reported the assault, but the plaintiff alleges the sheriff didn't provide adequate assistance, such as calling an ambulance or helping her recover her belongings. That's not good. She eventually returned to retrieve her possessions and was briefly convinced to stay at the location by Shane Pierce. The next morning, she was given her belongings and left. Okay. The complaint alleges a sexual assault and cover-up enterprise. That's basically what this whole thing is. The complaint argues that Diddy and his associates formed an enterprise designed to facilitate sexual harassment and assault, threaten and mislead victims to prevent reporting, conceal and prevent prosecution of sexual offenses. There are specific RICO violations alleged. Obtaining victims for sexual abuse, facilitating forced labor and sex trafficking, transporting women for sexual purposes, using interstate communications to further these activities. Diddy's power and influence. Described as a mogul with extensive power in the entertainment industry, he had the ability to provide or destroy careers, which that I believe, yes, he definitely did. He had tons of influence, controlled his circle of friends and employees, could terminate, blackball, or create legal trouble for those who didn't comply with covering up abuse. No one man should have all that power, in the words of Kanye West. Some alleged enterprise activities include manipulating and controlling potential victims, preventing individuals from coming forward, and protecting Diddy from consequences, intimidating witnesses, to name a few. 5. Personal impact on plaintiff, aka Ashley. Claims severe emotional distress. She claimed severe emotional distress, developed an eating disorder, experienced extensive weight loss, required multiple hospitalizations, developed global distrust of individuals. Damn. Yeah, that's enough to that would cause anyone that, especially a woman. Jeez, I feel for her. I feel so bad for her. RICO conspiracy, second cause of action. So Ashley is alleging that each defendant agreed to commit racketeering offenses, enable and cover up Diddy's decades of sexual abuse, and everyone involved knew the conspiracy extended beyond their individual roles. Sexual battery. This is the third cause of action. There are claims that Diddy intentionally caused harmful contact with intimate parts, alleges Diddy exploited his position of authority, which he did, allegedly. Plaintiff was physically unable to reject advances, clothes, phone hidden, outnumbered, seeks compensatory and punitive damages. Sexual assault, fourth cause of action, alleges touching of intimate parts against her will, used force, drugging, violence, duress, caused reasonable apprehension of bodily harm, mentions New California law, CCP 340.16, extending statute of limitations. Sexual harassment, fifth cause of action, alleges unwelcome sexual advances and demands. Diddy used authority to coerce Shane to lure the plaintiff, seeks actual and exemplary damages. Battery, sixth cause of action, claims intentional, unwanted, harmful contact, emphasizes Diddy's exploitation of his position, seeks compensatory and punitive damages. Assault, the seventh cause of action, alleges intentional threats and attempts at harmful contact, caused physical and emotional distress, which she's also seeking compensatory and punitive damages. Negligence, the eighth cause of action, against Shane, claims Shane owed a duty of protection as a host, resulted in sexual harassment and assault. Negligent failure to warn, ninth cause of action. Defendants knew the risk, but didn't warn the plaintiff. Could have reduced harm if warned about potential assault. Caused serious psychological and physical harm. Jesus Christ. Negligent supervision and retention, the 10th cause of action against Diddy, alleges Diddy employed unfit individuals, knew or should have known employees posed a risk. These employees caused harm to the plaintiff. Jeez. This is a lot. So there are also some negligence claims. The plaintiff alleges that Diddy knew or should have known about sexual misconduct by defendant Doe 1. Diddy is accused of failing to have reasonable supervision or monitoring procedures to prevent sexual abuse. The plaintiff claims Diddy's negligence was a substantial factor in causing her harm Intentional infliction of emotional distress. The defendants are accused of engaging in extreme and outrageous conduct. The conduct allegedly caused severe emotional distress to the plaintiff, Ashley. The actions are described as intentional, malicious, and showing a reckless indifference to the plaintiff's rights. Trafficking and Victims Protection Act violations. The defendants are alleged to have knowingly participated in a sex trafficking venture. They are accused of recruiting, enticing, and soliciting the plaintiff. The complaint suggests that the defendants knew they were facing sexual abuse and sex trafficking. They were facilitating sexual abuse and sex trafficking. The actions are claimed to have occurred in interstate and foreign commerce, aiding and abetting. Defendants are accused of knowing about and providing drugs to be used to take advantage of the plaintiff. They allegedly knew the plaintiff would be assaulted. The complaint claims their conduct was a substantial factor in causing harm. The plaintiff is seeking compensatory and punitive damages, alleging significant harm including therapy costs, loss of income and employment opportunities, severe physical and emotional distress, damage to reputation and career. The document suggests that this is part of a broader legal action against what is referred to as the Diddy sexual abuse and cover-up enterprise. Okay, now last but not least, Okay, so these are all of the alleged, allegations and I guess defendants. Again, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love. Right. And others are accused of operating a sex trafficking venture, coercing the plaintiff into non-consensual sexual acts through threats, force, fraud, and abuse. The complaint includes claims of aiding and abetting these actions by various other parties named in the suit. It alleges the defendants obstructed law enforcement from enforcing laws like the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. There are specific claims, violations of the TVPA, false imprisonment, alleging the plaintiff was detained and prevented from leaving certain premises under coercion, obstruction of justice, and interference with investigations, intimidation and bribery to conceal alleged crimes, and suppress the plaintiff's testimony. Damages and consequences. The plaintiff describes suffering where severe physical, psychological, emotional, and financial harm as a direct result of the defendant's actions. As a direct result of the defendant's actions. Alleged allegations extend to long-term harm, such as damage to reputation, physical disabilities, and ongoing medical expenses. Relief sought. The plaintiff is seeking compensatory and punitive damages, including attorney's fees, resti- restitution, and an amount to be determined at trial. There is a demand for a jury trial. The suit, okay, legal framework. The suit relies on federal statutes addressing human trafficking, civil rights, and personal injury, drawing comparisons to other high-profile cases, just such as Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's. Yeah. Diddy can stay in jail. I think we can all agree. Anyone who disagrees is a weirdo, and yeah, especially seeing that video of him beating up Cassie was leaked, and you still want him to be freed? No. Lock him up and lock you up too. The fuck? Anyways, in conclusion, shit. Diddy's in trouble. I know that's an understatement, but still. Like, it needed to be said. Uh, um, yeah, Diddy's just going to be in jail for a long ass time, and yeah, I think the main point of it all is always do good by other people, because, like it or not, what happens in the dark is going to come out into the light. That's literally everything you do is going to be revealed at some point in time. So yeah, Diddy was allegedly doing all of this shit behind closed doors, having parties, raping people, men and women, allegedly behind closed doors, and recorded them. So now that the feds have raided all of your homes, all of your mansions, they have the evidence to put you under the jail for a very long time. And now look at you. You're fucked. You're fucked. This ain't a laughing matter, but still. It's hilarious to me, but it ain't a laughing matter. You're fucked. So, yeah. Listen. This was. Okay, so yeah. Needless to say. This episode was about the Diddy Files. Sorry it took me so long to make. I had to go, bro. I did a lot of reading, extensive reading. I read both of the lawsuits and the indictment and the lawsuit as well. And yeah, it's it's extensive to say the least, but I did this for y'all. Please, please rate, um, comment your thoughts if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. As always, please remember that life is pain, life is painful, and yet life is too short to be serious 24/7. Follow me. Make sure to follow me on IG at greenmachine_23. TikTok and Twitter is famo_goodlove23. And if you're on Blue Sky, my is famogoodlove23.bsky.social. And with that being said, don't be like Diddy, above all else. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.